taking a look at our Scotty's Vodka poll of the day, I think most people were going A minus, B plus for Jaden Daniels' performance. And I get why you would give him an A. I think it's hard to give him anything below that because what has he done wrong? Nothing really. He didn't slide.
He hasn't really. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
he hasn't been perfect.
Well, you would also hope to see them drive for touchdowns.
That's true.
Yeah, for sure.
But they should have been points. Should have been points. Except
should
for
have
the
been
dumb
points.
Kicker.
Yeah,
should have been points. But you want to see you want to see your first team offense go out there. Not that every guy's going to be a starter, but go out there and score a touchdown on the first drive or second drive.
All right, let's go to the phones. If you want to chime in, 800-636-1067.
All right, let's go to Clarence in Laurel. Sorry about Laurel, Clarence.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Hey, man.
What's up?
Not much, man. So I've upgraded from optimistic from the Jets game to I think we're ready to go. Jaden looks good. He has to slide for one. He's really accurate. And what do you guys think about maybe De'Ami Brown being wide receiver 2? I know it sounds crazy, but so
I don't think it's crazy at all.
Jaden has a connection.
Yeah.
It's not crazy. The head coach himself said they're searching for wide receiver number 2. Jahan Dotson gave you one catch for 3 yards in this game.
It makes perfect sense to me. We all know De'Ami's past, so we don't know what he's going to look like come week 1. But I mean, right now he looks the part. Jahan looks a little. I don't know what's going on with Jahan. I don't know if he's checked out or if he's just not. I don't know. But De'Ami looks like wide receiver 2 right now, and Jaden looks good. So my Ashburn syndrome is through the roof right now.
Good.
I bet.
I was listening to Grant and Danny.
Thanks, Clarence. Appreciate it.
I think it was on Friday, and I thought Grant made a point which I kind of agree with. He said, and it was kind of a hypothetical, but he was like, name me a wide receiver who's done what De'Ami Brown has done in 3 years, which is almost nothing, who then all of a sudden has like a big year.
Well, I don't think anybody should expect.
I don't think anybody's expecting a big year.
I know, but a big year might be 50 catches. Generally, I kind of think if you've been something for 3 seasons, that's what you are.
You're probably right.
I think that's.
But if you're on the field and you're getting targeted, as long as you stay healthy, you're going to put up numbers.
Right.
And, it's not like Jahan did anything to help himself in this game, but he wasn't out there very long.
Right. Well, he was out there with the first group.
He was out there for the first group, but, again, the first group was only out there for a quarter. So I don't know. I think it all comes down to how he's looking in practice,
Remember,
and we don't know how he's looking in practice.
I'm taking Quinn at his word. And by the way, how awesome is it to watch Dan Quinn actually be a coach? Like actually coach on a sideline, be actively
It's a lot different
involved.
than what you're used to the last 4 years.
Totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, this is such a much better run organization, and you can already tell through 2 preseason games. I mean, Quinn is awesome.
I agree.
I don't know about the guy in Detroit. Maybe he is some boy genius. I'm thrilled with Quinn at this point. Now, if we go 3-13 the next 2 years, then we'll fire him and we'll say he's garbage.
Right.
But at this point, I'm thrilled with him.
Yeah, you should be.
I'm thrilled with him. But remember,
I think you should be thrilled with the entire staff.
He made a point of saying again yesterday in the post-game presser that they don't look at it like Terry's far above the number 1 guy. You got Terry, but they don't look at the other guys as 2, 3, or 4. They're literally trying to find what are guys good at. I want to put them in those spots.
Yeah.
What routes does De'Ami run well? Where can he help me?
They're all kind of just in a group.
What does Jahan do? He made a point of saying, I love Jahan. I love what Jahan can do. But, I want to find out where he excels the best, And I think that's what they're trying to figure out.
And we'll be able to obviously make that determination after week 1 to see who's out there the most.
But I think it is fair to say that there is a fairly significant drop-off after Terry, and you don't have, if you want to label them 1s and 2 or whatever, you don't have a dynamic number 2 receiver. You just don't. It doesn't look like at this point that Dotson is that guy. He's going to be a contributor, but he doesn't look like he's going to be that number 2 receiver that you hope for that's going to catch 65 balls.
You have McLaurin and
then a bunch of other guys.
And then a bunch of guys.
That's
bunch
what
of contributors.
It's going to be receiver by committee.
I'm
hoping that Sinnott really steps up. Now, it's going to be hard for a rookie. I'll tell you, I root for Cole, and I know he's Valdez's new BFF, but Cole's not distinguishing himself. That's not good for him. I guess Ertz. Haven't seen Ertz.
Haven't seen him.
So I'm hoping that maybe,
But please
what he's done in practice.
The preseason to me for those vets doesn't mean that much.
Doesn't.
Like they kind of know what they have, and certainly Kingsbury knows what he has in Zach Ertz.
And the other guy that they're going to throw to, they just are, is Eckler. And just haven't seen Eckler out there.
They haven't featured him.
They had one little screen to him, and you saw his shiftiness. I think maybe it was called back with a penalty.
Yeah.
He's going to be targeted over 4 quarters. He just is.
Eckler, it's almost like they're keeping him under wraps right now.
Yeah.
I think they want to see.
Well, just keeping him healthy.
And Quinn talked about it. He kind of knows what he's got in Brian Robinson now. He knows, and he mentioned he's hard to tackle. Hey. I have to say, this is the best I've seen Brian Robinson so far.
I bet on Eckler to have more carries than Brian Robinson. I'm not feeling good after the preseason.
You might be in trouble on that
Not feeling good after the preseason because Robinson has looked good. But it all can change, and we know that. Last year, now the results are different. Last year, the Commanders won all 3 preseason games. I can't remember what Sam Howell's stats were, but there was a lot of excitement. And then we know what happened. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Like I would find it hard to believe, based on everything we've said this year, that this team doesn't win 6-7 games minimum. I find it hard to believe. Like if you said they're going to finish 5-12, I'd be like, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be a fail in my mind.
Like
if they finished 5-12, that's a big fail on Dan Quinn and the staff.
It's not like the schedule is the toughest in the league. You've got talent. Certainly on the offensive side. Defense should be better. Coaching staff is much better.
But they are going to have an issue in DBs. You are going to have an issue covering elite wide receivers, which is difficult for anybody. But that's where they could be exploited right now. Unless they get great
rush
pressure.
Is a question mark.
They need to get great
pressure.
They
definitely have holes. We've talked about it. And by the way, we started off the last segment talking about kicker. That's a big issue.
Yeah.
You got to figure out kicker.
If this team,
because a kicker will determine 1 or 2 games this year, right?
Yeah.
And you want to be on the right side of it. You don't want to lose. Like, there could be winnable games. If you have Riley Patterson right now, and he kicks like he has in the first 2 preseason games, you're going to lose a couple games that you shouldn't lose.
Yeah.
I got to think they're bringing in guys this week.
I just don't know.
Or they're just waiting for somebody to be cut. I was trying to look at box scores to see if there were any teams that were throwing out 2 kickers. I didn't find any in my initial perusal. But we know there are other teams that have 2 kickers, so they're just got to be waiting for somebody to be cut. But that person's not going to be great.
Maybe having a strong leg isn't quite as necessary as before. If they keep doing those kickoffs where they're kind of like bouncing them, If that's
you just want somebody to be consistent on a 45-yard field goal,
right? But I feel
consistent on a 45-yard field goal. I think you take.
Man, the McManus thing was such bad luck with what happened, and who knows what happened? Only 2 people know what happened: McManus and the girl. But the fact that they were going to rely on him, he was going to be the guy. And now they had to go. Obviously, they cut him, and they had to go back to these backups, and the backups aren't working. I agree; it's a major issue right now.